Ladies and gentlemen, we've been waiting for this. This is it. You see the chariots being pushed out by their crew members. This is a tradition that is wonderful here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The 200, the Hayes Jewelers 200. The cars don't roll out onto the track. They are pushed out by their teams with their drivers walking behind them, and these great fans serenade them with applause, boos, curse words, you name it. But this is the Hayes Jewelers 200, and it is getting ready. 200 laps around a lightning-fast, flat, and very tough bull ring.
I just have to say that one of the things that it reminds me of when they push the cars out is almost like medieval times.
Yes.
Like here they come with their carriage and their horses. Oh, the modifieds have arrived.
Oh, that is.
Do you like that?
I think that should be on like Comcam's Top 6 right there. You know, a little karaoke action here. You know, you should have been with us last night karaokeing at Tea Time Sports and Spirits after the practice.
Listen,
you would have been good.
Fun fact, I was in choir and I had a solo. And I am not a good singer, so I don't know how that happened.
More volume out of you next time, okay? But you
I
see
will be
Boo Dalton's
larger.
I have no problem being large. You see Boo Dalton's 50 being pushed out. There's Jason Myers' number 4 car, of course, the great racing legacy of the Myers family, the 07, the Mayberry Bullet, John Smith, the number 15. These cars are being pushed out. You see Brian Lofton waving to the crowd right there. John Smith waving next to his 07, the Dowdy-owned machine. Mark Dowdy, of course, a great car owner in the Southern Modified ranks.
Oh, now we're running.
Yeah, John Smith's running. Hey, they don't call him the Mayberry Bullet for nothing. Oh, folks, look at who's next. That number 79 car, Meriden, Connecticut driver. The guy that was once known as the rocket launcher here after spinning Tim Brown is this driver who's back in a modified for the first time in over a year. That's James W. Savali right to the inside there, the number 51, the Snowman, starting his sophomore campaign. And then here comes Drew Moffitt, the 51, by the side of the number 51 of Junior Snow. All these cars being pushed into position right behind Moffitt, a guy who almost was a champion last year at Bowman Gray Stadium, is the 104 car of Brandon Ward. You see that beautiful shot from our cameraman, Tunny Ledbaker, getting that beautiful image tonight in turn number 1, a very daring camera position for him, and we applaud him for taking one for the team. Boo Boo Dalton's number 50 car being pushed there. Boo Boo Dalton, a great story coming into this season, Jacqueline. You know, you've covered Boo Boo Dalton in the late model ranks and whatnot, known as a late model driver.
Yeah.
And he's in a modified.
Yeah, I went down there because I had to say hi to Boo Boo, and you know, his whole team, they're always such high energy and so happy to be here. But that car he's driving is actually Zach Clifton's modified, and it's a chassis from 2019. And I asked Boo Boo, I said, tell me a little bit about your modified history, because like you had mentioned, his late model experience, he said, I've raced a modified one other time, and it was at Carteret Speedway, which to his advantage, Carteret is actually a very flat track, just like Bowman Gray, so you know, he can take that away. But I said, in terms of setting this car up, who has been someone that has helped you guys prepare for this race, or have you taken any tips? He goes, no, this is just all us. We're doing what we can and getting ready for this. So he's excited to be here, and he will be starting in the 11th position, a little bit higher than midway on this field. So we will see how it irons out for him, the late model driver of Boo Boo Dalton. Yeah,
well, we see the front of the field. So let's give them the starting lineup for tonight's 48th annual Hayes Jewelers 200, starting on the pole tonight from Tobaccoville, North Carolina, in the Jerry Hunt Supercenter. Hayes Jewelers machine, the 94-time winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's the Rocket, Tim Brown. To the outside, second-generation driver, the number 75, a 23-time winner at Bowman Gray Stadium in the Brad's Golf Carts. Phoenix Wahlberg Grill and Pizza. I love pizza. Number 75, it's Lee Jeffries.
Starting in that third position, he won this race last year for the season opener. The number 57 from Mooresville, North Carolina, of Danny Bone. And to his outside from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the number 1, we know who he is. If you've ever heard of the Myers brothers, he's one half, Mr. Burt Myers.
Folks, starting in the 5th position, the number 5 car of Randy Butner, the Greg Butcher towing machine, the great veteran of the Mod Wars here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And on the outside is not a veteran, a very young race car driver that's had a lot of success here in things like the mini stocks. From Mount Airy, North Carolina, and the Guaranteed Auto Group, Surrey Chemicals, number 16. Oh, it's Chris Fleming. I thought it was Jordan Fleming, but that's the veteran, Chris Fleming.
And starting that 7th place position from Kernsville, North Carolina, the number 44 of Daniel Beeson. And to his outside from Statesville, North Carolina, you're going to find the number 92 of Brody Jones.
Starting to the inside of the next row, a 37-time winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and the QRC HVAC machine, it's Jason Myers. And then to the outside, that number 13 that I was speaking about just before in the Guaranteed Auto Sales car, it's the young Jordan Fleming.
Starting the 11th position, we just talked about him. The number 50 from Liberty, North Carolina is Boo Boo Dalton. And to his outside from Mount Airy, North Carolina, you'll find the number 07 of John Smith.
Starting in the position, lucky 13, the driver from Clemens, North Carolina, the 6-time winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium, Brian Lofton in the number 15. Starting to the outside, the number 104. It's tough to see the numbers on that car, but the Q104.1 car, the Kevin Powell Foothill Ford machine, it's Brennan Ward.
Starting the 15th position from Bexington, North Carolina, in that pink and black number 51, you'll find Drew Moffitt. And to his outside from Meridian, Connecticut, although I think he resides in Mooresville, North Carolina now, the number 79 of James Savali.
Starting 17th, he's the master of the sportsman division in the Big Daddy's trailer sales. Number 21 from Walkertown, North Carolina, Tiger Tommy Neal. Starting 18th, just to the outside of Tommy Neal, is the number 69 from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. His 3rd season of modified racing, the Black Sand Company, number 69 for John Holloman IV.
Starting that 19th position from King, North Carolina, the number 51 of Junior, the Snowman, Snow. And from the outside, from Tobaccoville, North Carolina, you'll find the number 37 of Mike Spiney.
Starting 21st tonight from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the beautifully prepared number 9 Tobacco Ridge machine, it's Kyle Southern. And starting to his outside, in the Jeremy Gerstner prepared number 70 car from Charlotte, North Carolina, it's Andrew Hara.
And starting the 23rd position from Monroe, North Carolina, you'll find the number 3 of Danny Probst. And to the outside from King, North Carolina, it's another number 10 Spiney brother of Dan Spiney.
Starting in the 25th position tonight, the very likable fan favorite Susan Harwell from Jonesville, North Carolina. And to the outside, in the number 39, he won a race here last year in the street stock division. Tonight, he drives a number 39 prepared by John Boy Jonathan Brown, who's not in the field from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. In the Tea Time Sports and Spirits machine, it's Gerald Robertson Jr. And that is your field for the 48th annual Hayes Jewelers 200.
Yeah, you know, you talked a little bit about Gerald Robinson Jr. and, you know, his spotter up in the sky, Tony White, spotted for Jonathan Brown last year, and they got the most wins out of the entire division, 4 wins in 2022 out of any other competitor. And they said, you know, the goal here for them this weekend for Robinson is just to finish the race. They had a little bit of bad luck Thursday night. They punctured the radiator. They had to make some work with that. And Jeremy Gerstner, actually, who's crew chiefing this weekend, he had a spare radiator that was able to loan to them, and then he had a leak in the rear end on Friday. He wasn't happy with his qualifying run, but they elected to start in the back because he is a rookie. He hasn't raced a modified. So starting in the back of this field, Robinson Jr. trying to just have a good finish tonight at Bowman Gray, and he's got veteran spotter Tony White up in the stands, his eyes in the sky, hoping to guide him through the chaos of this modified feature event.
Yeah, we were talking about kids. Look at that kid holding signs out there to their favorite drivers, got the Racing Electronics headsets on, it looks like, right there, waving their checkered flags. Oh, the youth are on display here, not just on the track, but man, there's a lot of really young fans here at Bowman Gray. Oh, thumbs down as they're introduced. That kid didn't like whoever was introduced. Oh, give him the not just the cheers, give him the jeers. We're talking about family before, and you know, the Myers family. You know, their tradition runs so deep here as we crank up the 600 horsepower modifieds at Bowman Gray Stadium in front of a packed house. But the Myers family leading the family battles, the family feud here at Bowman Gray Stadium with 222 wins, the most wins for any family in the family trees here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The Clifton family in second with 219, and the Jeffries family, hey, 56 wins, 13th most between the 75 that you see right there, you know, at the beginning, front of the field of Lee Jeffries and his great father, the late Robert Jeffries, who is a great veteran here at Bowman Gray Stadium, who we love very much. Lost him to cancer a few years back, but Lee Jeffries carrying on that family legacy and that family number in the number 75. The engines have cranked here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. That means one thing: 200 laps of ground-pounding NASCAR modified excitement. The Brad's Golf Cars modifieds, and there is that number 75 beautiful machine in the traditional family paint scheme for the number 75 of Lee Jeffries. He wanted to win the pole, and there's a reason he wanted to win it, because he didn't want to be on the outside. Your pole sitter right now, right behind him, is getting pushed by the track crew. Not being able to start is Tim Brown. A little drama here. You see the cart going across the field there. He's going to push him.
Looks like we're going to have the number 5 of Randy Butner going to come behind him and try to push him off to get started here. But let's see if the 83 can fire off, and he does.
Oh, some tense moments for the 83 there of Tim Brown not being able to start. Great sportsmanship there, Jacqueline, by the veteran Randy Butner, getting that Jerry Hunt Super Center number 83 cranked there. Oh, I bet you Tim Brown was nervous there, biting his fingernails as that car was super fast all day yesterday. And not just in practice, he put it on the pole here for the Hayes Jewelers.
Now, Matt, I'm unfamiliar with the rule here. If you get assistance to be pushed off, not in this instant, but later on in the race, does that affect your starting position? Or do you lose your position? Let's say you're under caution, you stop, you would lose your position, someone has to push you off.
Yes, you would lose your position if it was during the race. Since they roll these cars out there and they actually don't drive them out there for this race, and they actually just push them out there for this race, if somebody doesn't get it cranked, they just give them a push.
Got it, okay.
So we are good to go there for Tim Brown, who can start this race from the pole. Yesterday's pole for Tim Brown, the most staggering stat I've ever heard in the history of Bowman Gray Stadium. You would think that Tim Brown was 89 years old if you heard this stat, okay? But yesterday's pole position run for this great race was his 138th career pole in a modified at Bowman Gray Stadium. How? 138. He actually had a season here, okay, where he was perfect. He won every pole the entire season. This is the undisputed pole king at Bowman Gray Stadium in the history, the 74-year history of this place. Nobody is the pole king except for the driver from Tobaccoville, North Carolina.
You know, we talk so much about Tim Brown and how good he is. And one piece about him, though, is he's so critical on himself. So he knows when he's done something wrong, he's out behind that trailer, cussing at himself, mad at himself. Slamming doors. He knows what it takes to get it done, and he does not take any slack from himself. No mistakes to be had for that number 83.
That is a great point, Chad, because to me, I liken him to a Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch loves winning, okay? When he wins, he's in a great mood. Tim Brown, when he loses, you don't want to be around Tim Brown when he loses. I don't know if I've ever met a modified driver that likes to lose, but I've never met one that doesn't like doesn't like to lose as much as Tim Brown. This guy is like fiery and as fiery as they come. But you know, some great help. Andretti You know, his crew chief, and on the 25 car he runs in the Smart Tour, was here helping. Ben Brown, his brother, who crew chiefs this car here in the NASCAR ranks here at Bowman Gray Stadium. So a real great team effort, and they had that car dialed in yesterday. So much so that it was amazing watching them lift up the left wheel of the car that had so much bite. It looked like a dirt car with the left front car, you know, sitting up there. But we have the 1 to go signal.
Yes, we do. Get your popcorn and buckle down. We're about to go modified racing.
Folks, 17,000 people have gotten off of the bleacher seats surrounding this great quarter-mile oval. 75 years of NASCAR racing, and its original division is about to take the green. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. The NASCAR Modifieds and the Hayes Jewelers 200 is green. 2023 is underway.
And just like last season, the caution's going to come out and we're going to need a restart. So Matt, you're going to have to do that for us all over again. Here we go. We're going to make it quick.
75th season of NASCAR will take the green right now. 17,000 fans on their feet. The green flag is out and the Hayes Jewelers 200 has begun.
Better even restart there by Tim Brown. The number 75 of Lee Jeffries is going to try to squeak himself down, but Danny Bone isn't going to have it. We're going to play bumper tag on that bottom lane as we see the number 1 at Burt Myers.
Oh man, the real tough spot on the track right now is in 3rd position. In now 4th position, Lee Jeffries starting on the outside, and he is stuck up on the high side. Here comes Randy Butner into 4th. Oh, stop the bleeding now, says Lee Jeffries. He's hung up on the outside, and can he find a spot behind the number 16? He does.
He finally gets a spot, and that's going to settle him in to the 6th place position. But up ahead, Tim Brown's going to continue to lead this field around, and you'll see them just fall in line here for the 200 lapper.
The defending race winner sits poised in 2nd position right now. The North American Construction number 57 of Danny Bone, and 3rd is Burt Myers. Randy Butner, with a really strong qualifying effort, sits in 4th. The great veteran driver Greg Butcher on board for years as a supporter of the driver from Pufftown, North Carolina, the number 5 machine right there. Love talking to Randy Butner in the pit area here. He's just one of the old guard of modified racing, one of the great veterans here. He's not very flashy. He doesn't have the best of everything, but he comes here, he's dedicated, and he gets the job done. 2 wins last year at Bowman Gray.
Yeah, and right there sitting in that 4th position, we were looking at the number 1 of Burt Myers, the 2nd most winningest track champion behind Tim Brown with 10 championships he's had here. He won 4 races last year after getting the car dialed in with the track surface, and it looks like they're coming hot right out of the gate here, sitting in 3rd place, seeing where he can capitalize. He is currently running that PSR chassis and feels pretty confident with just what his team has come up with after switching from Curie halfway through the season last year. So we'll see kind of what he has. He is a man of mind games, so to speak. So we'll see what he has throughout the rest of this feature event.
Burt Myers currently, I believe, your point leader on the Smart Modified Tour, which takes a break. It kind of shuts down. They're on flow also, but shuts down for, you know, out of respect pretty much for the NASCAR Modifieds here at Bowman Gray Stadium, what they mean to modified racing in the South. This great season here starting tonight is such a vital thing in modified racing, to the health of modified racing. And speaking of that, 29 cars here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Strong field. One of the strongest fields overall of modifieds that I've seen here at Bowman Gray Stadium in years.
Tim Brown's gonna come up on a little bit of lap traffic of the number 39.
Gerald Robinson in his first modified start in that car. That is a car that you see it right in front of Tim Brown. That was actually a original center section of an old Don Smith car, and Jonathan Brown actually built the rest of the car around that center section.
No games played. Tim Brown's going to effortlessly get around him as 39 went down and out of the way. We're still falling right in line. We're on, oh, and the caution is going to come right out.
Caution is out right now. 16 laps on the scoreboard. Boo Boo Dalton is slow on the track. I believe it's either that or debris, the reason for the caution flag, as I see a track worker running to the outside in turn number 2. But Boo Boo Dalton's number 50 was slow on the racetrack. That Clifton machine.
We're going to see the mods come to a slow pace around the track. We'll have the cone come back out here in just a moment. And I'm really curious to see kind of where they decide to fall, because so early in, so we're 17 laps into this 200 lap distance, and this is where a lot of mind games kind of come into play, especially on a length of this size, on tire management. How do you want to play it? Do you want to be more aggressive in the beginning to get that track position? Do you want to save a little bit? So I'm curious to see what the drivers do.
I want to ask you a question, okay?
Oh, okay.
Let's
Hit me with
have
it.
some fun here, because the cone is about to go out, but I wonder who's the first driver that's going to choose the outside, because you know first and second probably aren't. Is third going to, fourth, fifth? Nobody wants to go to the outside. We saw what happened to Lee Jeffries. The cone's going out.
Here it comes. The number 16 of Chris Fleming, I think, will be the first one, which he's currently sitting in 5th.
I'll say third, Burt Myers. Yep.
Oh, well, you win. What do I owe you? And next, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. No, we were both right. Chris Fleming, Burt Myers and Chris Fleming, the first to dare to go to the top groove here on the new surface here. Not very much rubber laid down on the outside, so that's going to be tough to apply the throttle and get traction in that right rear tire and get drive off the corner on the start, and then heading into the south turn, turn 1 and turn 2. That will be difficult as well to keep it on the outside. We'll see what happens. The first restart. The Colby's Roofing and Gutters restart lineup is set, and here we go. Yellow flag. Yellow flag is back out.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Run back to the kitchen. Grab another snack.
Syke. Syke, not Brian Sykes, the street stock competitor, but Syke.
I think that word is out of date.
No.
Yeah.
On. Well,
it is. Sorry.
I live my life out of date, Jacqueline. Come on. Have you not gotten to know me?
I think the
love old school.
I think the new term now is like no cap.
Hey, these
right?
these
like
modifieds are fresh. These modifieds are so fresh.
They
That's
are
80s.
fresh.
Yes,
fresh.
very
Groovy.
Crunk.
And here we go.
This modified race is about to be lit on Flow Racing. Here we go. Lap number 19 on the board, and we're having some fun in the booth here. But hey, the rivals side by side. Apply the throttle. Tim Brown, the race to the south turn is on. Burt Myers hanging on the outside. And can he get down in front of Danny Bone? He does. He gets the second position. Bumper tag right there, stacking up in turn number 3 and 4.
Bumper on bumper there. Tim Brown going to continue to lead. Burt Myers is going to say, hello, I'm here. Don't forget about me. As he's going to peek, just a peek to the inside. Oh, we got trouble all behind.
Big crash. Oh, huge crash in turn number 3. We got a car up on top of another car, and that is the number 69 car of John Holloman is airborne and on top of another car. Oh, a bunch of cars, probably a 7-car pileup. Brandon Ward was involved. Speeney was involved. I don't know which one. John Smith was involved. Junior Smith was involved. Drew Moffitt was involved.
It's like Holloman.
Holloman is involved. I can't see who the car underneath Holloman is. I believe it's Kyle Southern, the number 9 car. Basically probably has sheared off the air cleaner of that car. He is underneath that 69 you're seeing right there. You see Kyle Southern's Tobacco Road on the back of that modified, and man, he's looking at the fuel cell.
Junior Snow. Yep.
And that's Drew Moffitt too.
Moffitt, yep.
But look at that. Look at that view right there. On the right of your screen, you see the car towards the back there. He's got a view of the bottom of the fuel cell of the number 69.
The 69 got a lift that he never even asked for. Look at that. All right, let's see if we can look at the Flow Racing replay and find out just what happened here.
Wow, you see Eddie and the crew out there. Now they're going to get the tow trucks out there to try to get that car off. This is going to be a little bit of Jenga. So I think it might actually be a good time to probably take a break here on Flow Racing. And as they play Jenga with NASCAR modifieds, I think we could take a break here and come back as we come back to the Hayes Jewelers 200. We are only about 20 laps in, and we'll come back with the remainder of the Hayes Jewelers 200. All right, we are back live on Flow Racing. A major incident in turn number 3 involving about 7 to 10 NASCAR modifieds here at Bowman Gray Stadium in front of a packed stands here, 17,000 strong at the Winston-Salem, North Carolina Historic Power Plant. And I'll tell you what, this place, this is what it's all about. It's wild. That's Bowman Gray Stadium. And one thing with Bowman Gray Stadium, too, is we like to tell people to be there at the racetrack, not just watch our broadcast. And one of the key components of that is doing content around our races. And the other is the department I work in, films department, okay? More long-form documentaries about short track racing. And we have a very interesting one that just debuted on Flow Racing. It's called Madhouse. So check out the trailer, and after the races tonight, check out the film. Bowman Gray Stadium is like motorized insanity around a football field.
It's explosive energy that you feel inside that race car.
This place has so many things that make it special, but really it's the fans. 16, 17,000 people, they bring an energy to this place that you don't see anywhere else.
They don't call it Madhouse for nothing.
You push a man the wrong way and you mess with something that he's passionate about, you might not get the answer you're looking for. What are we doing? You just, nothing?
There's a fine line of, am I going to just let this go and be the bigger person and we're going to go racing, or I need to stand up for myself.
Whether they love me or they hate me, they're still coming there to watch me. The definition of insanity is if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, you're insane.
All right, now playing on Flow Racing is that film Madhouse, an original film, not a series, but a documentary. We also have Legends of Racing, the Bettenhausen's out. Dirty Dollars, a very unique story about dirt late model racer Jonathan Davenport living on the ranch with Watusi cattle. But that Madhouse film sure was fun to put together. Jacqueline, you watched it, huh? You just told me.
I did, and
cool.
The logistics behind just some of the shooting that took place here last season, which is part of my job at NASCAR. It was really cool to just see it all come together, and I felt like it really spoke to the energy and gave a clear indication without actually being here on what it feels like to be at the track, what it feels like to be around the fans. It was so close to the energy. Did a really good job representing that. And you talk about all the films available on Flow Racing, but all the events available on Flow Sports alone as part of the subscription that you get here. If you did not know, there's over 20,000 live sports that are available on Flow that you can go and watch, from track to the dirt racing pieces that you spoke about, and you can get that all live and on demand right here on the app. You can download the Flow Racing app on your TV, on your phone, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast. You can watch it on iOS and Android apps.
I watch it on my Fire Stick.
The Fire Stick. Yeah. There's so many ways that you can get the sports that you want, and even venture off into some other things there on Flow and
wrestling,
learn
grappling,
wrestling. Yeah, learn a little bit about that. Cheer.
I'm
yes,
very cheery right
there's
now.
a big cheer competition actually taking place next week that I've learned about. So there's lots that you can catch right here on Flow. I don't know. Is there hockey?
Yeah.
There's
Flow
hockey. I didn't even
was
know
so
there was
excited
hockey
about
on
Flow
there.
Hockey, because the only sport beside racing I can immerse myself into is hockey. And right now, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Islanders are locked in a playoff duel. Last night, we went after this to watch that, and a lot of race fans were at Tea Time Spirits and Sports, which is one of the sponsors of several cars here. So we actually decided to go there just to support a sponsor of Bowman Gray, which we do often. You know, Pulliam's Hot Dogs, Thunder Road Grill is a sponsor here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and we've gone there just to have burgers and milkshakes because of the fact that they support short track racing, and we're all a big family here. The people in the stands, there's a reason why, if you look around this place and you see it on the shot right now, there's billboards all the way around this racetrack because, you know, there's 17,000 people here, and they see that, and now they see it live on Flow Racing too. I know a lot of drivers have expressed the sentiment that it's helped them with their sponsors. Not only the sponsors of the track are helped by the broadcast, but some of these drivers, they get their sponsors mentioned or they see them on the car, and it's something that builds the excitement. It's the relationship between the racetrack and the streaming partner that's very important to us, and we try to pump people to come to Bowman Gray. You know, with that film is an expression of that. That's not a promo that's, you know, really going to boost our ratings. Let's just be honest with you and transparent here. That's something that should make a person from Michigan or Ohio want to take the venture out to North Carolina just to come to this bucket list racetrack.
It absolutely is one of the racetracks you have to go and see if you are a motorsports enthusiast of any capacity. This is one place that you've got to put on your list. You've got to get out there. And you talked a little bit about just the products that happen in short track racing. I was in Walmart just last night, and I walked by a huge sun drop display with Dale Jr.'s late model that was on the side of those sun drop packages. So it's really cool just to see it all come full circle. And right here we're looking at Danny Probst, that number 9. I really like the chrome on this car.
I'll tell you what, you know, we was talking about sponsors. I went up to him because he had a new sponsor in the car. Okay, and I'm like, hey, tell me about your sponsor. He's like Crossroads Body Shop, E-Metals. So, you know, it's important for these guys, not just the guys up front, but all the guys throughout the field to get their sponsors mentioned. And here's the really cool thing, okay? This is why I wanted to stop on this car, Danny Probst. He's like, hey, come check this out. And on top of his dashboard, the tin work, he put alligator skin on
What?
top of it. It's the coolest looking thing ever. And then he's like, hey, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm going to entertain this place this year. I'm like, what are you talking about? Come on in the trailer. So
Oh,
I go,
no.
okay.
No.
So here we go, walking up in the trailer, and he's like, you need to see my new fire suit. And I'm like, okay, let's see this fire suit. He breaks out this fire suit. I think I'll tweet it tonight if you want. He breaks out a fire suit that is like turquoise. It has cactuses. It has like wagons, sombreros. It has tacos. It has on the back an alien. He says it's a Scott Bloomquist tribute. An alien spaceship, a UFO, with a cow upside down being sucked up into the spaceship.
Right.
And I was like, why'd you do it? And he's like, I'm sick of being boring. I'm not boring. I come out here and I take it too seriously. I need to come out here and have fun. Okay, and I was like, man, I love this guy right now. Cowboys and aliens. I mean, that's a combo.
You had me going for a second with the
'Cause tacos.
alligator skin. When you said there was alligator skin on his car, and then you said he asked you to go in the trailer, I'm like, did he bring an alligator?
Oh, that would've been cool.
Like a baby alligator,
Maybe
he
we
just
should
has
do
it
that.
chilling in the back of the hauler. I'm like, where is this gator? That's where I thought you were going. So I'm a little disappointed that it was the fire suit story.
He's got a taco
I
on
mean,
his suit.
I'm all about it, but I just was expecting you to say gator. I thought you were going to say
yeah.
It was like.
Yeah.
I mean, naturally, you.
Well, it's like
you,
me. I see
You
squirrels.
started it off so high, and then it was like, okay, it was his suit. So.
Oh, speaking of, well, this isn't a driver that's feeling very high on his horse right now. He's definitely dejected. Huge damage on the front of the Black Sand Company number 69 of John Holloman, who is featured in the film Madhouse, the young race car driver from just down the road in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Keeps his cars at the Brian Lofton Race Shop, where young Carson Lofton, young 15-year-old modified competitor, is working on that car, and he's here this weekend working on John Holloman's car. But tough night for John Holloman again, second time, because last year in the 200 he had some damage after a spin and really kind of limped to the finish.
Out of all the personalities, I've gotten to know Tim Brown really well, and Bert really well, but I actually have not gotten to know John Holloman very well. So
You have to.
in the documentary, when I was watching it, I really enjoyed seeing him in there and getting to know him, and I was like, he is a dark horse. He's a young, up-and-coming talent driver in the field, and he's someone that I'm like, I could see why people would want to, magnet onto him as a race fan, because he's very relatable, he's down to earth. So
Great soundbite, too.
Yes, and if you're looking for a driver to root for that is not Burt Myers, past champion, and Tim Brown, past champion, John Holloman would be a good one. And I mean, I know he's out tonight, but another time, he is a good racer, and we see him competing hard competitor against all these guys. So hate to see him out, but he's a good personality to follow.
Let's give you an update here as we're in under caution on lap 22, a long caution. That's why we went to commercial, and we also, as you see, Speeney's number 37 there on the track. Two Speeneys, that's Dan Speeney, the younger brother. But that accident had like 7 to 9 cars in it. Medical staff was actually out there tending to some of them, but we do have the news that they are A-OK, so that is great to hear that Kyle Southern, Drew Moffitt, some of the people that were involved in that are okay after that massive pileup in turn number 3. Dan Speeney right now getting pushed off in that number 37, the shooting target Southern Precision Tooling Machine. Both Speeneys, okay, they ran in some races last year, and they went back and forth in the car, Jacqueline. I don't know if you remember, but the one night we were told it was Mike Speeney, and it was like Dan Speeney that won. And it was embarrassing when I saw him climb out of the car. Well, now it's great because at least they got 2 cars. I told them, I was like, we're not going to get confused between the 37 and the 10 this year. Maybe I'll get the names wrong every once in a while, but at least we know both of them are in the darn race.
They're both in here tonight. They absolutely are.
Pennsylvania drivers, too.
Yep.
I mean, it says they're from North Carolina, but we all know those are some Pennsylvania. That's the Pennsylvania posse of modifieds, right?
They're all, the Speeneys are also pretty well known for racing late models. We've seen them race late models all through the East Coast for many years in the Cars Tour, and they're more in their inaugural years, so to speak, in the earlier days. So Newtown, Pennsylvania actually is where they are from. To be specific, from our Stat King Justin Mency
Who's
over
Stat
here.
King? He has been crowned the
I
king.
call him Stat King, and I said today when I got here, I said, "Are you going to be our Stat King?" And he laughed.
Oh, the cone is out.
The cone's out. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, you know,
I got to get on my feet.
Stat King, Prince, I mean, Danny Bone choosing the outside groove. He's the first to dare the top side. Chris Fleming heard Jacqueline Drake liking the fact that he went to the top side, so he chooses to, as well as Brody Jones in the red, white, and blue number 92 with the American flag on the back of that machine, a Fury race car. Colors Edge on board as a sponsor. 25 laps on the board now as we come to green on lap 26, and the pace car hits the football field on the infield, and after a long caution, we're ready to go. Drag race off the north turn. First to the throttle is the 83. Now trying to get to the bottom is Danny Bone, but no, he can't do it. Here comes the number 1 of Burt Myers, forging his way into second place. Can Randy Butner fill the hole and take Bone and get third?
Burt Myers is going to hold his own and get back into the racing groove there, and he's in second. Meanwhile, that number 57, he's going to do all he can to try to get down to the inside lane for Danny Bone, and he does it now, settling into 4th place.
Well, that was a gamble for the defending race champion that he will learn from, and maybe he'll try it again. Every restart is different, but gotta commend him for making the daring move there to go to the top side, but just couldn't get that real estate and get that number 57 North American machine to the bottom. Right now, your leader, Tim Brown, leading a file of single file race cars, these NASCAR modified 600 horsepower machines around this quarter-mile oval.
Randy Butner is going to apply pressure to the number 2. Burt Myers is going to create a little bit of bumper tag. So Tim Brown's going to get a little bit of heat, and we're only on lap 30 of this 200-lap feature event.
Well, Burt Myers is famous in the South in modified racing. His family legacy is runs through the roots of all that is Southern modified competition. But right now, he's also famous for something that you see right on camera. That orange front bumper. It's a trademark of Burt Myers, and he is using it on the backside of the Jerry Hunt Supercenters Hayes Jewelers 83 right now. Lap after lap, applying it gently to the back of Tim Brown's machine.
That bumper effect is a little bit of a mind game, reminding them time and time again that I am here, I am right behind you. As the caution flag is going to fly, we'll see what was the cause of this on the course.
I think it might have been debris of some sort. So we are looking possibly in turn number 2 right now for debris, but a yellow flag on lap 34 in this contest, this 200-lap affair here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And you know what? Sometimes yellows are boring, but I say because here at Bowman Gray Stadium we have the Traffic Control Safety Services double file restart cone that comes out each and every time, and we get to see who's going to dare the outside, and they might come from 3rd, they might come from 8th. But it sure does make it interesting, especially right now with this one groove racetrack with this brand new smooth as butter pavement, but not much rubber laid down on it.
We're not going to waste any time. Cone is out this time by, we'll see who chooses the outside.
Butner, wow,
There it is again.
Randy Butner chooses to go to the top of Tim Brown. That's a very surprising and bold move from that veteran race car driver. Oh, Randy Butner tonight is feeling it.
The number 92 of Brody Jones is also going to join the outside, so now he'll move up to 4th. And the number 16 of Chris Fleming, he must have heard you, because this time he decided he's going to stay on the inside lane.
Oh boy, 35 laps. The length of my features at my home track, Riverhead Raceway, are in the books, but we've got a whole bunch more for the Hayes Jewelers 200. They fire off at turn number 4. Side by side down the front stretch is your leader, Tim Brown. Randy Butner, the great veteran, on the outside, duking it out side by side, wheel to wheel. They touched out of turn number 2. Here comes Burt Myers to the inside, filling the hole. Trouble right behind him. Brody Jones spins. Trouble in the north turn. It collects Speeney. It also collects Mike Speeney and Tommy Neal in the number 21.
I don't know if you missed that, Matt, but the blue modified right there in the middle.
Yeah, Mike Speeney.
Mike Speeney, when he went around, he was banging on the steering wheel out of frustration. We'll see if it is shown on this Flow Racing replay.
Here comes the replay, and Brody Jones on the outside right there. Oh boy, some contact with the right rear tire that just kind of upset that car and spun it around with Chris Fleming. And Spini obviously not very happy. And of course, collecting Tiger Tommy Neal. We also have Danny Probst now stopped in the south turn 1 and 2, and he is getting it. Oh, let's take a look. Here's his fire suit, folks. This really stinks for this driver, but there's the alien, the Scott Bloomquist tribute. Probst is done with the race, but he's got the tuxedo tie on. That's actually not printed on. That's an actual bow tie. He's dressed up tonight for the Hayes Jewelers 200, rolling into Bowman Gray Stadium with the darn tuxedo on, styling and profiling as only Danny Probst can. Woo!
Look at the wagons. I thought for a second he was going to point the finger at someone, like he looked frustrated.
No, he just wanted to show his fire suit.
Yeah, look at this.
Like, you know, he could have stayed in the car. But why stay in the car, man? You got a fire suit like that, you get out of the car and show it to the crowd.
The legs, are those wagon wheels?
Oh, they are.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Man, now we got the second song. We're going to have the greatest hits by the end of the year.
I thought you were going to chime in, but you're just going to leave me hanging like that.
No, I'm going to leave you hanging.
All right.
I've heard that song.
Well, Justin Mincy is currently dancing because he enjoyed it. So I see the cactus and the cow. That's cool. Is that embroidered? That is a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of added on fees.
But hey, any driver that dresses up in a darn tuxedo to race a car is a champion to me, no matter what. And Danny Probst, man, one of the entertaining characters of Bowman Gray Stadium, and dressing up and doing this for you guys, the race fans. That's you know, he deserves some applause from all of us for that. So now he'll take the long drive back to the field house, behind the field house, the pit area here, as his number 3 is towed off.
You know, I think I was like excited to see him get out of the car, even though it's like, I feel bad that his race has ended, but I really enjoyed seeing the fire suit.
I mean, look at that.
I did enjoy that.
They should, the stadium, heck with this cart, the mobile Midway mobile storage cart. That should be the Midway mobile storage limousine for that Probst character right there. He deserves a Midway mobile storage.
Oh, they're going to keep going.
Like, yeah, he's going to do a parade lap. Look at this right here. Bring him around. Wave to the fans there, Danny Probst. He's going to get dropped off there by Jimmy and the Jimmy Brown, the whole crew there, the officials. And there is the damage. Looked like a snap tire rod on the left front of that number 3 of Danny Probst as that machine gets taken back behind pit road, the Crossroads Body Shop E-Metals number 3.
Now, race fans, if you are joined in on the broadcast tonight, first time saying this all season long.
I know what you're going to say.
Head on over to Twitter and tweet us your seat, tag Bowman Gray. You can tag me.
We should tweet our seat.
You can tag Matt.
Hey, we're tweeting our seat.
We're tweeting our seat.
Here we go.
Let's
We might not tweet it, but we'll at least take a picture.
Tweet,
you couldn't see us taking
tweet
a picture.
your seat. We love to see it.
Cones
and
out.
love to see where you guys are tuned in. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Who's going to take the chance?
I think Butner stays in second here. I think Burt Myers goes to the top.
Oh.
Butner does stay in second right there. There we go. Burt Myers to the top. Both. Jason Myers is the second car to take the top, so it'll be the Myers brothers on the outside here at Bowman Gray Stadium as we'll come to lap Richard Petty here in the Hayes Jewelers 200, lap number 43. As we come to the line, Matt Garrison will collect the cone and head back up to the starter's stand as the pace car pulls off into the football field. And these drivers clear out the throttle, trail brake, and get ready. The two rivals, side by side. You saw them on the film Madhouse, and now they're green. Great jump by the number 83, Burt Myers. Not so much. He's going to try to get to the bottom, possibly behind Butner, but he can't because here comes Danny Bone. Danny Bone, bad to the bone on the inside, taking the third position. Next up, Jason Myers, the brother. Will he have some brotherly love and let him in?
Oh, and right as we say that, caution flag is going to fly over in turns 3 and 4. We have a little bit of a pileup here.
Daniel Beeson, the number 44, the red machine. Great week for him so far as speed. John Smith involved, Spini, and big damage to the front bumper of the Snowman's car. the unit's mobile storage number 51 of Junior Snow, and you see the Mayberry Bullet right there, the 07 of John Smith from Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Now, I just want to back it up for a second.
Back it
all
up.
right? Back it
on
up. Jason Myers, I don't think was going to let Bert in.
No, no,
So,
I don't think so.
Sunday night family dinner might be a little bit awkward.
Well,
He might be
you
like,
know,
what
he's
was
here
that?
to race too, man.
What was that about, man?
He's here to race
We
too.
got a long way to go.
And a short time to get there.
That's just my speculated.
Well, actually,
We'll
we got
see.
a long way to go.
We got a long. That's what I'm saying. We have a long
This
way
is
to
an
go.
endurance race right here.
Jason could have let him in. I mean,
What's going on
we don't
here?
know.
It looks
We're
like
pointing.
Chris Fleming's car has stopped on the racetrack. He was in about 4th position.
This guy's going to push it all
It
by
looks
himself.
like it's going to be
Look
pushed.
at
We'll
him.
see if he regains that spot, but I don't think he will.
The track crew. There is no quit in these guys.
One guy
these
trying
guys
to
out
push
here.
start a car, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to clutch start that vehicle. Great try, though, but our hardworking track crew right here, led by Jimmy Brown and the folks
Well, he was
in the infield.
He was pointing at the Midway Mobile Storage cart, and he wasn't coming, so he's like, "I got this under control."
I hope to see the Midway Mobile Storage limousine next week, though.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Man, I love that camera angle that we just showed.
I do too.
You know, on the field house, what a unique angle that we're bringing you on Flow here. The NASCAR Roots folks are all here as well, enjoying themselves, and so many people are here. You know, visit Winston-Salem folks, and there's dignitaries here. So many people coming here. This is a community event, if you've ever seen one, and the whole city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina convenes here. This is the premier sporting facility in Winston-Salem.
Absolutely. And if you don't know anything about Bowman Gray, you got to tell them about that football field on the inside. Give them a little bit of your backstory.
Well, you know, I mean, this place was originally built as a multi-sport facility. It did host racing very early on, its first year actually, on the cinder track around the football field. But, you know, early on, there was big games here, like the Iron Dukes, the undefeated Duke team played football here. Wake Forest, of course, played football here. So many great concerts, things have happened, but this place has been most known for auto racing, and you're seeing the cone is out right now, so we'll get you back to that auto racing instead of Dillner's boring history lessons.com. But Tim Brown on the inside, the first to hop up top for that restart is Danny Bone. Jason Myers joins him, and third on the outside, Brian Lofton. We haven't spoken about the Shady Grady 15 at all tonight.
Well, here we go.
Green flag clenched in Randy Smith's hand, and it flies right now, and so does the 83 into turn number 1. Danny bad to the bone, trying to get to the throttle and get down in front of Randy Butner, and he does so going into turn number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single file, and right behind him, that is a side-by-side battle. James Savali tempting the outside, further back in the field within the top 10, but the story is up front. There is James Savali on the outside, hanging on, that young, aggressive driver from Meredith, Connecticut. Brandon Ward to his inside, almost a champion here last year. The former Pro Cup Series driver who raced in the Dash Series. There's Lee Jeffries on the bottom side, the number 75. He started on the outside of the front row, and now he's battling his way back to the front.
James Savali fighting to try to get that inside lane again, and now he's going to get an opening and be able to squeeze in. Meanwhile, it's been all bumper cars up front between Tim Brown, Danny Bone, and Randy Butner. As I say that, caution flag is going to fly. We have a car round in turn 3 and 4.
Mike Speeney, the oldest of the Speeney brothers, has spun his beautiful blue number 10 and goes around for a few more donuts.
Woo!
It is a little slick in there, folks. It did rain earlier today. You see the slick on those tires right now as he got in those throttle. Remember, this isn't your grandpa's Oldsmobile right here. This thing, when you apply that little toe to the throttle there, it's got a lot of power.
And he was doing a lot of glazed donuts out there in the field, but he'll join the back
Don't
of
talk about
the
glazed
back
donuts.
of
I'm hungry.
glazed donuts or sprinkled donuts, whichever it is. It was all donuts down there, and he'll join the back of the field. It hasn't been a good night for him though. Number 10.
Now all I can think of is Waffle House. So we're hitting Waffle House on the way out.
There's no donuts at Waffle House.
No, but
Where
there's
did you make that jump?
There's waffles, and they're sweet.
Okay, all right. Waffles or pancakes? Which is better?
You don't get pancakes at the Waffle House.
I know, I'm just saying, do you like waffles or pancakes?
No.
You jumped from one, I jumped back.
Yeah, I would say a Cracker Barrel waffle pancake because it's cast iron cooked is a wonderful thing. But
A Cracker Barrel pancake is superior over everything else?
pretty much, especially the wild Maine
I'd have to
blueberry.
disagree. I'm team waffle all the way.
Your team waffle?
Yeah,
Hey,
I like
waffles
waffle.
are great. I just had a waffle sandwich at Sheets today. It had chicken. And
A waffle sandwich
Yes.
at Sheets.
Yes, Sheets. It's a gas
I didn't
station.
even know that. I know what it is.
I mean, for the love of God, you can eat at a gas station.
I
Jacqueline. Don't
love.
be so bougie.
I love. Oh my God! You can do the fresh. You can do the fresh to order there at Sheets.
Oh, it's awesome.
I
isn't
like.
it?
I just didn't realize they had waffle sandwiches.
Well, now you know. Education.
Okay.
Woo!
You
know what you're doing
listen.
tonight now. You're getting your waffle chicken as
I'm
we
gonna.
get the cone out here.
I'm gonna need you to calm down. All right. I'm gonna need you to take a step back. And when you go to Sheets tonight, after you go to Waffle House, you get
Oh,
yourself
I'm not doing
a
both.
cookie.
I mean, if I did
get
both,
you a
I'd be-
cookie crumble shake. Okay.
Ooh, cookie crumble shake.
It's
yeah,
really
well, let's
good.
talk about how the cookie's crumbling in this race, and the first person to the outside
Oh, there
to
it
try
is.
to disrupt the apple cart, there's another food reference, is the number 1 of Burt Myers. Jason Myers filing in on the outside, and then so is Chris Fleming. That's what we're looking at right here on these restarts. Who is daring enough to try to advance positions using these cone restarts to get to the front? That's the excitement building around all these restarts, and then the drag races have all been won by the leader into turn number 1, but the second place car on the outside trying to see him get down to the bottom has been very interesting. Buckle up. Oh, it looks like the 83 gets a big jump on that start, and the yellow flag comes out. A little cat and mouse game there between the two fierce rivals.
Burt Myers knew exactly what Tim Brown was going to do, and he's like, buddy, I'm going to get you this time.
Yup. Put a little hesitation in the right foot of the number 83, but he's a veteran. He knows the games that are being played right now, and let's see what happens on this lap 57 restart. Green flag is out,
There
a
you
clean
go.
start, and the number 1 files in behind. Jason Myers now is the car stuck on the outside of Danny Bone. He charges his way, but only can probably get into 4th, but now Randy Butler to the inside of that machine. Oh, this is going to be trouble for Jason Myers. He's stuck on the top side right now. Here comes the number 16 of Chris Fleming. The Jerry Hunt Super Centers car gets him coming off of turn number 2.
Chris Fleming's not going to let him in, but the number 4 is going to be able to find a little bit of a gap, thread the needle, but he can't make it work. Stuck again on that outside with the Q104.1
Oh, look at
modified.
Savali. Savali slides it underneath him. Oh my gosh, that was a daring move. Savali, did you see Savali 4-wheel drifted underneath him? Savali, man,
Making
he's a
it
little
work.
aggressive.
Well, the number 4 is finally going to get down. We'll see the battle up front here between Tim Brown and Burt Myers. The number 1 is going to continue applying that pressure with the front bumper there. And right behind him, the number 57 of Danny Bone, who did not want to see that number 1 in front of him as he's watching them continually play that bumper car game.
The 61st lap, I always think of the great 9-time NASCAR National Modified Series champion from Rome, New York, the great Richie Evans, NASCAR Hall of Famer. Every time you see the 61 and think anything modified, you think of Richie Evans. And now on the 62nd lap, still looking at the leader there, Tim Brown, looking to snap a winless drought that dates back a while now. It's been over a year and a half since Tim Brown, July
June
of
2021.
2021, the last time that Tim Brown visited Victory Lane here. Of course, he had Victory Lane the last 2 years as a champion, but race wins. That's what this guy wants. He wants to come out here and, as he says, kick their teeth in. He wants to set fast time in practice. He wants to win the pole. He wants to lead every lap, and he wants to win the race, and this is the biggest of them all. Right now, he's on his way.
And right here, we're looking at Lee Jeffries in that 75, and we have the 15 of Brian Lofton further on back throughout the field, just now cracking the top 10, trying to break their way in.
Yeah, Brian Lofton, a veteran modified driver. He's won here, of course, a number of times. He's won a lot of Southern modified races. His son, Carson Lofton, finishing second at Hickory the other week. The next generation, a 15-year-old, but that Shady Grady racing car faring pretty well here tonight. Just about 10th position, it looks like, for the number 15. We don't have time in scoring, but unbelievable, good, pretty solid run for that Shady Grady racing team.
Working on lap 68 right now, lap 69. And right now, everybody's kind of settled in. Again, 200 laps is the distance, so we're getting closer to that halfway point. People are just trying to make it through. We are counting caution laps, so we've been counting throughout the course of the night. But we're back up front to the leader, Tim Brown. As you can see, him battling with Burt Myers. Tim Brown a little bit better center off on the corner, able to get that momentum and pull away from the number 1. But Burt Myers better on entry to center. As you can see, it's kind of where he's applying that pressure from behind as they enter into the corners.
Great analysis there, as well as these modified circulate. This tight confines here of this quarter-mile oval. Opened in 1949 for auto racing, held midget races before it, and yellow flag is back out again. Lap 72 in the south turn. 2 cars are spun. It's it's Jordan Fleming in that number 13, and Brody Jones. There's the number 92, the American flag on the back. The colors edge, number 92, Fury chassis race car.
A little bit of a tangle,
A little bit of
but
a
nothing
tangle.
crazy.
No, nothing crazy. Oh, did I go young again? I just got young again. Lord have mercy, it's a Christmas miracle.
Oh, man.
Oh, there it is, the field house, folks. If you've never been to Bowman Gray Stadium, look at that beautiful field house, the big scoreboard on it. And, you know, you'll see some drivers' faces up there from time to time. And there's a VIP section up there. I believe Joey Denowitz, who's now head of the NASCAR Weekly and Touring Series with NASCAR. Joey Denowitz, the best hair in NASCAR, is on top of that VIP area with Kevin Hughes from Racing Electronics. I spoke to them before. Joey Denowitz, you know, we pick on him because he's got great hair, right? But he's more than that. He's a former race car driver, folks. So it's really nice to have racers involved in our sport. You know, I look at like guys like Ben Kennedy, okay, being involved and moving up through the NASCAR ranks. And what I love is the fact that he has raced race cars before. And that's what he has that understanding. And I absolutely love it.
Oh, I love that. I'm just looking at our Twitter feed right now. We got a couple people that have tweeted their seats. Jacob Gerald saying he's watching from Roanoke, Virginia. Michael tweeting in saying that it's only 8 days from the Spring Sizzlers Stafford. He says that he will be there, and he is enjoying my choice of songs. So thank you, Michael, for tuning in and being on my side despite Matt Dillner not being. We got P.D. Bain tuning in all the way from Illinois. And we have Illinois.
Is there a lot of noise there?
There is. And then we have Eric tuning in from Rockingham. And while I say that, the choose cone is out. Let's see what happens here. Tweet your seats. Let us know where you're watching from. And continue to stay glued to the seat. Grab a snack. Things are going to only get heated up from here.
Some hesitation to go to on the outside by Danny Boney. Almost filed in P3. Chris Fleming also taking the choice to the top side right now. 76 laps into this affair. Just to give you a little update under that yellow flag, the guy we were talking about in the Shady Grady Racing, the blue bottled water, number 15. Brian Lofton brought that number 15 behind pit row to be serviced. Cars can pit. They can go behind the field house here and maybe make up some spots on the restarts. Here we go, side by side. Brown on the inside. Danny Bone on the outside. Throughout the field, a little scattering behind them all. Here comes Burt Myers to the inside. He gets second place. Danny Bone files in behind.
Chris Fleming was able to play a little bit of cat and mouse himself and create a space, now sitting in the 4th place position. And they're going to file in, single file all the way from first through. Looks like the top 10 now has been sorted out.
Single file almost all the way through this field except for the battle you see right now. Daniel Beeson charging hard. He's on the outside. That is a brand new car. He has now joined New Day Motorsports, that number 44. And a little bumper tag right there with Speeny is that number 44. And there he is, the number 21, the sportsman master, Tommy Neal. Now back to the front. Here comes Tim Brown. He's the leader. Hot on his tail is his fiercest rival. We have the 12-time champion. We have the 10-time champion right behind him. These are the rulers of Bowman Gray Stadium. But folks, right behind him is the only driver really that's been able to disrupt that championship run. and that between Myers and Danny Bone, the 2014 champion, Danny Bone. It's usually the Myers. It's usually Brown. Now, Burt Myers peeks to the inside of the number 83. The battle for the lead could be on.
Champ versus champ versus champ, all in the top 3 right here. Throw a blanket over them. Things are only going to get more spicy as the night goes on. Tim Brown, man, he's had a fast race car, but it has not been superior as the number 1 is continued to stay glued and bumping the 83 every single corner.
I love that wide shot right now from the top of the tower here, showing this massively beautiful stadium, grandstand surrounding it, all the color, all the spectacle, all the glory, and inside of the ring, on that ribbon of asphalt, is the mighty modified 600 horsepower times 29 circulating this football stadium around a football field right now, competing for glory. The Hayes Jewelers 200, the 2 giants of the modified ranks in the South, going toe-to-toe.
Toe-to-toe here, 83. The Tim Brown's going to get another bump from Burt Myers, number 1. It's upsetting his car just a little bit, center of the corner. So, and I've spoken to Tim Brown about this, and he said the key here is knowing when to brake and knowing that your competitor is going to bump you and making sure that they're bumping you square on the bumper so it does not cause you to spin. That is what he says separates the rookies from the veterans out here at Bowman Gray. How can you allow someone to hit you without it actually causing chaos to your car? And so far, Brown has been able to execute that perfectly throughout the night.
Oh, some trouble right there. We're looking at Junior Snow beneath the number 79 car. Snow has a lot of damage on his machine, but that 79 car is trying to make his way through the field. That's a car, folks, with James Savali returning to the modified ranks, that fluorescent number 79 to keep an eye on, because he is a guy. Look at the front bumper. Look at the front bumper of the 79 right now. That thing is all pushed in. He's using it. That front bumper's working overtime. Here comes Junior Snow to the bottom of Savali. Savali kind of chops him going into the turn. A little shot from the 51. Oh, don't mess with James Savali. There's a reason he nicknamed himself years ago the one-man Taliban, and he is showing his stuff tonight. One of the most aggressive drivers in the history of modified racing.
James Savali started 16th tonight. He's up to 7th position, so he's came quite a ways throughout this field and surviving without any sort of damage. We have a caution flag out. We have a car spin into the infield.
And the 2 drivers that were battling there have no bumper left. No bumper, both of those drivers. There's Gerald Robinson's number 39 T-Time machine spun out. Tough night for the debut in that John Boy number 39.
But he's surviving. He says he wants to finish the race. Yep. He's still out there, and he is so far finishing the race. We'll see. We got 105 laps to go. I don't know if you guys missed that, but when he spun into the infield, smoke was coming off of the tires just to see how hot that rubber actually is getting on those Hoosiers.
What does Gloria Gaynor and Gerald Robinson Jr. have in common?
I don't know. Tell me.
They're both saying, "I will survive." There you go. I didn't sing a song like you. I didn't sing a song by, hey, number 3 for.
There you go.
For Jacqueline singing.
I don't know
tonight.
the next. How does the next verse go? I will survive.
I don't know how.
For as long as I don't know, something like
let's
that. I'm
not
usually
do that.
really good
Ratings
at lyrics.
just plummeted on Flow Racing. Actually, people might even cancel their subscriptions if I start to sing. So let's not do that. Anyway, you're seeing the leader right there. Oh, look at Jason Myers. Jason Myers is pulling up to pit. Jason Myers might be pulling up to pit on the outside of the number 83 car. He was running within the top 5.
Oh, I see. I see now. It looks like he's going to the pit area. Interesting.
Yep. Jason Myers probably going back there, whether not they make adjustments on that car. 4th song, by the way.
No diggity.
No diggity says, yeah. No,
Do you
we're
want me
not
to
gonna
sing
do
that
no
too?
Diggity. No.
Justin Mincy over here just putting in song request. I'm going to have a jar next time I'm here.
Tip jar.
Yep.
The tip jar. Matt Strickard is behind us. Maybe he could suggest a song. But, hey, great job.
He looks unpleased.
He looks unpleased. Well, I got to say, a big shout-out to our hard-working crew here today. Not just Jacqueline and I and Justin Mincy, Matt Strickard in the booth as well. So many people, Lucas Kaler, Mike Zilak working behind the scenes here. But Blaze Dillner, my nephew, on the cameras. Letty Kavlin. Letty's a super nice person working on the camera tonight. Hope also on camera. And, of course, Tunny Ledbaker as well in that turn number one camera. So a big shout out to our Flow Racing crew bringing you opening night here at the Madhouse. Cone is out. Leader to the inside. Second place to the inside. Danny Bone to the outside. Fleming to the inside. Here comes Brandon Ward. One of the first times we're talking about the Q104.1 gray machine coming to the outside. He will start fourth outside of his rival, Burt Myers. Who isn't a rival of Burt Myers? Maybe Jason? I mean, shoot. I mean,
everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, here we go. We're lined up, buckled down. It's time for a restart.
Almost to the halfway point of the Hayes Jewelers 200, the longest race we run this season, the big one. Brandon Ward files into the bottom.
Nice work by Brandon Ward. He's going to situate himself into fourth there, but Danny Bone stuck on the outside, trying to see how he can make it work with Burt Myers. And they're going to get the halfway signal this time by. Everybody's settled in the top 5 right there. Further back, battling with the number 51, the 75 of Lee Jeffries, and Sabali trying to make his way down the inside lane as well.
Right now it's single file much around this racetrack as Tim Brown leads the way, Burt Myers in second, and you see third place Danny Bone. That's been the top 3 for quite a while, but Brandon Ward stalks behind them now. Some of the big heavyweights in Bowman Gray Stadium racing, the cream has risen to the top right now. Brandon Ward was quite a contender last year, week in and week out. Didn't like the racetrack last year. Was very adamant in my discussion with him about that, and is really looking forward to what that New Day Motorsports team can do this year with their car, with the adjusted setups. A lot of these guys are using the setups they used 2 years ago. Okay, the new pavement, they had to raise the cars, literally raise the suspension all the way around and go to more of a conventional setup instead of the suspension in the right front being tied down, okay, so to say. So, raising those cars, it made the attitude of the cars and the way they handled so much differently. So now all these teams have pretty much thrown away last year's notebook, okay, Jacqueline, and they are back to 2 years ago, and I think that a lot of race car drivers are loving this new surface.
Yeah, I think I saw Tim Brown out back burning his notebook from last year. That's a joke. I never actually saw that. But, it could happen.
Well, right now, he's got somebody red hot behind him and in his mirror because Burt Myers is making his presence known every other lap. Boom! Right there. You saw it in turn number 3 and 4. A tiny little shot to the back bumper of the number 83, just letting him know, hey, I'm there. You make a mistake, I'm going to pounce. I'm going to grab that inside groove. But right now, what I'm impressed with that 83, Jacqueline, is how straight he's driving through the corners. He almost brakes at the, maybe a little past halfway, slows that car down right about there.
Yep.
And then applies the throttle, and it's very straight drive off of turn number 4.
Absolutely. He's being diligent. He's being consistent. He's running his race. He's not getting out of control and getting pressure from behind, which is what Burt Myers wants him to do. He wants him to make a mistake and able to pounce on it as soon as that happens. He bumped into him that time, and it almost upset number 1 just a little bit there on the exit of the corner. But continuing that drive as we're working on lap 112 this time by.
Well, right now that they're single file, I think this is the part of the show where we're going to see a little bit longer of a green flag run. I was wondering when it was going to come, because usually in the Hayes Jewelers 200, you get a stretch that's at least about 50 laps long. We haven't really seen that tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what these cars do on the longer runs. And as I say that, I jinxed it, because the number 5 of Randy Butner, who is having a fantastic run tonight to open his season, in that number 5 is now to the infield grass. You see the Greg Butcher towing number 5. Oh, man, Heartbreak Hotel for Randy Buntner.
He was having a really good night, too. He was running up front. He was executing where he needed to be. So it looks like, based off of that, it just was a mechanical issue that has popped up here with speculating. But unfortunate end to Randy Buntner here as they're going to make their way around the front stretch. And
it looks like that car is not under power
pits
right now and not getting it restarted. So maybe something happening with the power plant of the number 5. So the Pufftown, North Carolina driver, 2-win season last year, really showed his stuff pretty well last year for the veteran race car driver. Part of the leader, the undisputed leader of the Pufftown Mafia, I would say.
Yeah, Randy Buntner, who's been racing since 1979. He started when he was just 19 years old, and he was racing on dirt. And then he moved up, and he raced in what was the Busch Series at the time for about 3 years. He's a veteran out here at Bowman Gray in the modified division, so he's been in a little bit of everything as a racer himself. 20 career modified wins. Man, what a way to chalk up a racing career, right? With all of those different types of vehicles you've been in.
Oh, some blankets coming out tonight.
Must be a
some
little
people
chilly.
getting a little chilly out there. I don't know. I mean, we're in this booth and it's a little warm in here, but the blankets are coming out tonight, or maybe it's just people getting a little cuddly here. Settling in for the last.
It does look chilly. There was I'm laughing because that fan view that we just had. I don't know if we can go back to it, but that fan view we just had one guy who was clearly unprepared. He was in a t-shirt and shorts, and he was just sitting there shivering next to all the people with the
It's like
blankets.
You see the people in the football games with no shirt on. They're not having a good time, but they're
just painted up.
Just play with the pain. Number 15 of Brian Lofton went back to the pits just there. The lap before, Brody Jones took his number 92 behind the field house. First service on that machine. He has revisited the field. Danny Probst has rejoined the field as well. There we go. Looking at
there
the
he
fans
is.
right now. Where
Look,
is he?
he's right here in
right
the
in the
gray
center.
shirt. He looks cold.
He looks cold. I think the guy on the left with the
cold.
hoodie is a Danny Probst fan, because that looks like he needs a taco on his hoodie. But he's got that turquoise there.
He's not happy, and his buddy next to him has the black hoodie on.
Go and buy a sweatshirt,
he's like,
dude.
Hey,
they
man.
sell them up there.
Hey, man. Oh, yeah, he's like, yeah. Can I have that?
Jason Myers did go to pit road the last time we were under yellow. He is in towards the rear of the field, so wondering, if he got some adjustments on that car and see if he can use these choose cone restarts, Jacqueline, to make his way back up front.
Oh, yeah, plenty of time here. We're looking at 80 laps, almost 80 laps to go, a little over it, 82 laps to go. Math was not my strongest subject in school, but we got plenty of time here, so if you need to make your adjustment, make it work. And we're we have got the field lined back up. We're ready to go for a restart here.
On the outside from that choose cone, Danny Bone going to challenge Tim Brown here. Chris Fleming also on the outside. Green flag is out to lap 119. Fleming sideways there in the 4th spot on the outside, almost stacking up the entire field. Here comes the number 1 underneath, Danny Bone, trying to get that second position. Bone hanging on. He'll slot in 3rd position. Behind him, a spin. Tommy Neal goes around. Speeney and everybody stacks up. It's a traffic jam in the north turn.
Speeney cannot get out of the cautions today. That's like, what, his third, fourth cautions, and we all have 2 cars that are
trying to get some
connected to each other currently. Similar situation. He's
Brody
lifted
Jones.
up off the ground. Looks like
Brody
number
Jones
22.
Yep, it's Brody Jones in the 92, and it's also the 15 of Brian Lofton.
Look at the front bumper of the 22 here.
Yeah, it's a little jacked up. It's not as bad as darn Savali's, though. Whew. Lord, Savali's is like inverted.
Yeah. If he tries to use that, though, I don't think it's going to work. It's not going to hit the back bumper or the other
he's got
cars,
a little bit more bumper on that. That's like barely an Audi. Savali's is like an innie. Oh, yeah. Jimmy is looking at that, and the boys going, "Oh boy, we got some work to do here."
He's like, we're gonna need the wrecker.
Oh boy!
Oh, here it is. Whoa, quick! They do not
They don't waste
their
here.
time.
Yeah, let's go take a break here as they try to get the Jenga underway here. Jimmy Brown and his crew get to work. Let's take a break on Flow Racing. We'll be right back with another exciting restart in the last 70-something laps of the Hayes Jewelers 200. And we are back at Bowman Gray Stadium for the Hayes Jewelers 200. We effectively gotten the cars taken off of each other. And it's time almost to go back to racing. We'll have the choose cone momentarily, Jacqueline.
Well, Matt, during that nice break, I successfully ate half a pizza.
I did the intro with
Yeah.
pizza in my mouth.
Wow.
That was one of the
Add
more
that to
difficult
the
things I've
resume.
ever done in broadcasting.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell.
Well,
I mean, I know because I was sitting right here,
well,
but
thank you.
anywho.
I can walk and chew pizza at the same time.
As
Here we go. The choose cone. Is it
Not
coming
yet.
out?
No. Don't be jumping your horses. Not yet.
I can't jump.
Tim Brown up front. He's going to continue to work the heat in his tires left to right, left to right. Really important here, especially after a red flag. Lofton's front bumper, which is the number 15 right here,
man, that thing
is pointed up
get
to
a
the
shot of that.
pointed up to the heavens. He's further back in the field, but we see front bumpers left and right, up and down, all sorts of compass directions currently in this modified field. But while we have you, and again, we do not have timing and scoring here, let's do a rundown of the top 10 and where they currently sit. Up in first, he's been running up front all night long, the number 83 of Tim Brown, followed by the number 1 of Burt Myers sitting in second place. Sitting in third, we have the 57 of Danny Bone. Then we have the Q 104.1 right behind him, which is that gray and red car. And then we have the number 51, the pink and black of Drew Moffitt. And
That's
oh wait,
Junior Snow.
I get them confused.
Well, 251.
Junior Snow, they look identical. Then we have the number 16 of Chris Flemings. He is in 6th position. And 7th, we have Lee Jeffries. Behind him in 8th, James Savali. Behind him, we have the number 4 of Jason Myers. And rounding out the top 10, we have the number 21, that white 21 of Tommy Neal.
Choose cone, restart. Cone is out. As I had a mouthful of pizza, you had a mouthful with the lineup there. But hey, we're going to have a bunch of cars with their hands full on this restart, because the interesting thing isn't really the leader here, because they're typically firing off pretty well. It's 2nd and 3rd, 4th and 5th, 6th and 7th. How they stack up going into turn number 1 seems to be what's the most interesting thing on these Colby's Roofing and Gutters restarts here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and the yellow lights are out again. So the next time around, we don't re-choose, but the next time around we should be going green here on lap 127.
We have a car stopped in turn 4
Oh,
back
Brody
there,
Jones.
which might be why we. Oh, and he's back at it.
I think he might have been lined up wrong.
Yeah,
Brody
possibly.
Jones. Look at that beautiful view right there. Look at all those fans here. There's a reason they come out here, and you might watch this race right now and think, it's not the most exciting race, right? We haven't seen a lead change.
This has been exciting for me.
Get ready though, because the drama that is Bowman Gray, you might see 198 laps of, okay, this is good, and then you just never know. There's always that anticipation, will something happen?
It's bubbling. It's
Yeah,
bubbling.
especially when you have guys that don't like each other. Let's just be frank, even though I'm Matthew. Tim Brown, Burt Myers, no love lost between them. The fourth place competitor, Brandon Ward, Burt Myers, no love lost
Can you
between them.
imagine, like, breaking up with someone and then having to come back every single weekend and seeing them and you're just like, I hate their guts? That's how these guys are doing. They're just like, I do not want to race against them. Here he is again. He shows back up.
I like how
That was
you
good, right?
referred to it as a breakup.
But it is.
Are you and Mr.
That you
Berryhill
say-
doing okay? I hope, please. Please tell me you are, because you've got a good one there.
He's here. What do you
Yes, I
mean?
saw
You just
him.
casually came with me.
I was hoping he was not like them, and
No, but
he
I'm
was
just
still with you.
I'm saying how they've been racing against each other for years.
Are we re-choosing?
Uh-oh.
This is different.
No, right?
No.
What's
no.
happening? No.
We are re-choosing?
I don't think we're re-choosing.
It looked like it. There's a cone out. That's interesting.
We are going to find out exactly looking at the scoring tower here. Nope.
Well,
Let's see exactly
it
what's
happens.
happening. Is the
They're
pace
not
car
going
gonna
back
stay?
to. They're not going back to green. Matt
No,
Garrison is
caution
in the
back.
infield still. Well, you'll have that in big-time motorsports. Yellow flag is still out. 128 laps have ticked on the board. Of course, the beautiful scoreboard here presented by Pepsi-Cola and Kevin Powell's Foothill Ford. So many sponsors around this place. Even the cautions are sponsored by Colby's Roofing and Gutters, the restart lineup. That's pretty cool.
We'll see. We have another car stopped
Jacqueline,
back
are you
here.
grabbing a second slice of pizza?
No, it's the same one. I ate all the
What did you do? Put it back?
crust.
Oh, Brody Jones.
I
in
didn't have a
trouble on
place
the
to
right
put it. Look, I just
side of Brody Jones' car. I think a cone was lodged behind the wheel of that number
Oh,
92.
no.
That's why it wasn't the officials working on the race car. They were dislodging a cone from that machine. You see the cone. The cone is safe, folks. All you advocates of cone safety, the cone is unharmed.
All right, we are going double file this time by. Flagman's got up his green and yellow, and he's going really quickly side by side. So we'll see.
You notice all the
How's-
cones left, by the way, from the infield. This place looks marvelous again. It looks absolutely beautiful the way God intended. Bowman Gray, the look of the football field and the pavement and the color of modifieds. The only person that's probably disappointed is JB Cole, who was just so in love with cones. Maybe we just had to get him out of here.
Don't say that. He's probably watching right now.
Yeah,
All
I
right, we're
love
going
JB.
green this time by.
Lap 131 to the book says they crossed the line here side by side. This is the best. The outside is fared, but sideways is Danny Bone trying for that top spot. But here comes Burt Myers. Again, it's like deja vu. Now the 57 will try to slot in third. He does so off the fourth turn.
Danny Bone's going to settle into that third place position after doing a little bit of fast and furious drifting back there. He's going to peek to the inside, the number one of Burt Myers, and push him up into turn turns 3 and 4. Burt Myers is going to be able to recover and hold on that second place again now in turns 1 and 2. Danny Bone now taking over second place.
Oh, things are getting physical here in the closing laps. Now a shot, a return shot from Burt Myers to the backside of Danny Bone. It's on at Bowman Gray Stadium. Bone takes the spot. Burt Myers not too happy about it. The gloves are off. There's still 66 laps to go. It is not really go time yet, but some of these drivers are getting a little hot under the collar.
Yeah, Burt Myers, the temperature is definitely rose in that number 1 as he's looking to the back of that 57 now, followed by Tim Brown, able to pull away a little bit after that scuffle from behind. Sitting in 4th place is Brandon Ward, and now in 5th place, receiving a little bit of a hit from the 16 of Chris Fleming.
Right there you see Chris Fleming sitting in 5th position. Haven't talked to him about him much in that 79 now. James Savali up to the 6th spot, the Meriden, Connecticut driver. He works for Trackhouse Racing. You saw the battle before between him and Junior Snow, the 2 bumperless cars, because those things are definitely, well, as we jokingly call them, innies. Those bumpers are effectively useless right now, and now they've got to go wheel to wheel. They're nose to nose right now, trying to fight for that spot. So this is going to be a hard way because you really can't bump the guy in front of you to get around him. Here he goes to the outside as Junior Snow to get around him, and here comes Jeffries to the outside too. It looked like the 79 might have gave him the spot, or maybe some trouble on that 79 car. He's got the bottom, but people are passing him on the outside. James W. Savali might be off the pace in that Hillbilly Racing number 79.
It definitely looks like the 79 is losing a little bit of momentum, maybe a power issue flickering in and out there. Not sure. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the field. He's currently sitting in that 8th position, and you can kind of see right there, he didn't get that drive off that he's been having all night. But we're back up to the front. We have Tim Brown right there, followed by the 57 of Danny Bone and Burt Myers. Danny Bone, he can see how he wraps around the bottom, and that is actually contributing to him catching Tim Brown. But him and Burt Myers are now glued back together, and they have quite the gap between the top 3 and the 4th place car of Brandon Ward.
You can see really good brakes. That car handles really well under braking, the 57. And then that thing's able to rotate, like you said, Jacqueline, so well through the corner. But, you know, remember, race car drivers are like elephants. They don't forget. And Burt Myers is probably not going to forget the way he was raced to get that spot. So you could say it's clean because it's, you got to be physical to get around. You can say it's dirty, whatever. He's not going to forget. And he applies the back bumper to him a little bit right there. Now we're back to the battle with the 104 of Brandon Ward, the veteran race car driver, sitting in 4th position. Right behind him, the number 16 car of Chris Fleming, as things are starting to heat back up towards the front. But Brown still in the lead. There's Ward, the gray car. New Day Motorsports coming with a beautiful 2-car effort this year with he and Jonathan Beeson. Beeson also has the Bob Garbarino rig that is of legend to tow his number 44 modified. But New Day Motorsports inverse schemes. That gray car you see there, his teammate has the exact scheme, but it's inverse. So red, Daniel Beeson, the 44 car has that inverse scheme, so it's dominant red with a gray stripe.
Chris Fleming, the showstopper, we saw him running up front a little bit earlier in this race. Not sure. Guess we'll find out in the 50 laps to go here, kind of how this irons out for the 16. Has he burned up everything he has? Where does he stand? But meanwhile, Tim Brown, it's been the Brown show all night as the caution flag actually is going to fly this time by.
Yellow flag is out, and we do not know why yet. We are scanning around. We have the best view in the house up here.
We really do.
We really do. Maybe we could get like the turn 3 camera to show the press box up here, because we usually don't have a camera down there. And it's really cool here. You got the field house there, and we actually have a camera on the field house tonight, which is really cool. Unique perspective. You've seen it all night on Flow Racing, as there was some debris in turn number 1, but the press box here is absolutely stunning to sit up here. This is a first-class facility through and through. They've redone the concession stands here. Here is that press box, and we're at the top here towards the left side of your screen. We are waving profusely, but we can't. They can't see us. As you zoom out there, you see this wonderful stadium. The concessions are on the top. You basically walk in, and you walk down to your seats like an old school bowl of a stadium. Originally, there weren't seats in turn number 1 and turn number 2 when this place was built, and then they expanded the hill there that was formerly just grass and bushes and shrubbery, you know, and turned this into a 17,000 seat facility, added in 1954. The press box that you just saw there as they blow the track off, that's on the right side, the backstretch side. When this place first raced, that was the front stretch, Jacqueline. So
and
kind
then
of like Darlington, it flopped.
Flipped, yeah.
There we go. We have our jet dryers out on the track, blowing some debris off of there.
These things are intense.
They're great, man.
They're great. I feel like
Look
I
at him. He
need
can't
one
even
for
control
my
the
house.
thing with his arm. That thing's like, I mean, he might go flying across the field. I mean, that thing is the most powerful backpack blower you've ever seen.
Oh, look, there's us. Turn around. Oh, hi.
Oh.
There we are.
There we are. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Flow Racing booth. This is our high-budget Flow Racing booth camera, and it's the best one you'll ever have because you don't get to really see me. Nobody wants to see that. What a tower. What a facility. Yeah, I was mentioning the concession stands got redone, and I'd be remiss to say because I went to a local short track recently, and I don't want to name which name it was, and my kid said, man, the bathrooms are dirty, Daddy. And I'm like, well, a lot of old school places, sometimes they can be, buddy. This place here, the bathroom facilities here, we don't normally talk about bathrooms, but I got to point it out. This place is so first class. The bathrooms here are something that you could bring your family here, okay, and not, you know, your kid's not peeing in a trough, okay? This
Let me tell you something.
This is a beautiful, beautiful facility.
Let me tell you something, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you know what's worse
Preach.
than a men's bathroom at a short track? A women's bathroom at a short
Not
track.
here.
It's not here, but usually a women's bathroom is the last thought. Usually,
So you're saying you're all
it's
messy.
porta potties. No,
There's the original scoring tower, by
Yeah,
the
there
way.
it is.
Look at it. They just redid it to be kind of like
isn't it a bar up top here? Didn't
Yeah.
they make this into like a
It's
suite
like a
or a
suite.
bar? Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's an open air suite.
it is.
But that's some history right there. That's where the original scoring tower was, where the official sat, the scoring sat, the old announcer sat, you know, and the flag was kind of advanced further down, not dead center in the straightaway there. You know, the original one there. And then in 1954, you know, swapping it over to the other side. And what we now have, the front stretch became the back stretch, and the back stretch became the front stretch.
You talk a little bit about those renovations that took place, which was in 2018, a $9 million renovation on this entire concourse. So yes, I would imagine the restrooms are pretty nice here. But they ended all the construction in 2020. They finished it all up. So we're only 3 years in on all the new advancements here.
And you could get, you know what I like too? You could get Kona ice here. I had an Italian ice before.
Yes.
Yes.
They are delicious.
Excellent.
I like
went
the pina
downstairs.
colada ones.
Ooh, they had pina colada ones? I like it. Look at the concession stands there. Beautiful concession stand. Some artwork above it. That's the, oh, there you go. It says East Concession, so that's easy for me to read. There's a lot of east, west, north, and south here. This is an old school facility, much like Daytona, where we, you know, the original beach and road course, we'd say the south turn, the north turn. Traditionalists here and history buffs here affectionately call turn 1 and 2 the south turn here. And in 3 and 4, where the field house is, the north turn. So now the lights are out in the pace car. Burt Myers has chose the top. The interesting thing here will be to see if he has to get down. Will Danny Bone let him? Keep your eye out on the battle to get to the bottom. 158 laps in the books. Now the battle goes to second. Can Tim Brown keep those guys in his rear view mirror? Can Danny Bone get the spot? He's got the spot. Burt Myers files in third, right in front of Brandon Ward. God, you gotta love the sound of the Mighty Modifieds whistling by. You can hear them, the rumble and the whistle from the press box right here. top 7 to 10 cars are single file. A little trouble further in the back. Jordan Fleming goes to the pit area. The yellow flag is going to come out after his contact has broken the suspension on the number 13 machine, and he sits in the pit exit right now, blocking pit exit in turn number 3 right there. If you zoom in right there, he's blocking that exit. So they had to throw the yellow flag as he is in a precarious spot right there. You see that number 13, a home-built car. Okay, Luke Fleming, his older brother, who's won a NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour race here. Is an accomplished race car driver himself. Actually helped build that car. And Mike Speeney got into Fleming there, causing that incident. But, you know, great to see Jordan Fleming, who, you know, got some real success in the mini stocks here years ago in that the Jerry Hunt Supercenter fluorescent cars, getting to take his turn in a modified. He took his turn in the modified Crab Smith's car last year, and now doing so with a family car.
Caution flag is going to stay out here as they're zooming in here
Jordan's
on Fleming's car. And it looks like the...
Oh, here comes the mullet, folks. We had Danny Probst's suit. Now watch this mullet, folks. Jordan is rocking the Kenny Powers right there. Oh, yeah. Red, white, and blue. Eagles flying behind him as he climbs out of the 13. Were you impressed?
I am impressed by the commitment. It's pretty long.
I mean, you don't think that's beautiful? It's glorious. You know, if the wind blew just right as he was climbing out of the car, it would have looked like Scott Bloomquist.
Listen, I like the mullet. I'm just not a...
You're not sounding convincing, Jacqueline. I like it.
I like mullets, but I'm not like a huge like mullet fan. I don't know. I don't think it's the best haircut.
Everybody chime in on Twitter and blast Jacqueline Drake for this. I think it's like the real one and only JYD.
What is a JYD?
What is it? No, that's my buddy Johnny Dennison.
He doesn't even know.
What is it?
We're not even friends.
No, we're friends on social media.
You're trying to get haters. The one and only JKD.
Oh.
Justin Mincy knows. That's my initials. Thank you, Justin, for being a real friend. K.
No, what's your middle name?
That's it.
No, it isn't. K.
Yes, it
K-A-Y?
is. I'm not going to say it on the broadcast how it's spelled out.
I'll say mine's David.
Well, good
What's
for you.
wrong with that? It's very biblical. Matthew David.
Anywho.
She's
listen,
like, please change the subject.
I grew up on a farm in Texas.
Is it a koala?
What's a koala?
Kangaroo?
What?
K.
It's K. It's just K.
Like the jewelers? This
yes,
is the Hayes Jewelers 200. We're not going to talk about them.
You brought it up, not me.
Let's just, Jacqueline, we'll just eat
your
pizza.
Eat your pizza. I'm fine. I'm eating mine crust first. It was amazing.
Crust first?
Yeah,
what type
backwards.
Of person are you?
Twist it
anyway,
around.
That's our producer just chimed in and said, you eat crust first. That's psycho.
Did he call me a psycho?
No, he just said that's the technique is psycho.
It's only this one
Jacqueline,
time.
check it out.
I only have a small amount of time.
15's coming in again. I think this is the third time.
This is.
Or fourth time that he's come
in. Brian Lofton is going to come in.
I bet you he doesn't eat pizza crust first.
But if you look out on the field, back to racing, for the record, I only ate crust first because I had limited amount of time in between these restarts.
But that's the hardest part to eat.
I don't really like the cheese. I like the crust more.
No, me too.
Anywho, right now on the field, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 15 modifieds left. So
16 including the car that went.
Yes. So Chris, I cannot say his name. Brian Lofton, when he's going out and coming back in, he's still only. He's not losing that many positions because we started with 29 modified. So we have dwindled down quite a bit now on lap 165 of this 200 lapper.
And remember, folks, racing isn't over after this Hayes Jewelers 200. This is the biggest race of the night, you know, is the Hayes Jewelers 200. And, you know, we still have 3 races to go. We have 2 stadium stock races. Those are the Buzz Bombers, the mini stocks. As the cone comes out, we also have a street stock race. Let's see who chooses the outside. Burt Myers again does so. So does Brandon Ward. And, of course, James Savali's going to choose the outside. You give that guy a dare, and he's going to do it.
I'm really impressed by Savali tonight, able to come out here and capitalize
Look at the bumpers,
and pass so many cars. So he's in a good position right now, already plus 10. And here we go for the restart.
Beautiful shot there, showing those two cars clearing out the throttles. Oh, trouble in the back of the pack right now as Tommy Neal, I think, is going to bring out the caution as there's chaos with Brandon Ward in the grass in the stadium. He spins out. He was in 4th position. Brandon Ward. Oh, boy, what a change of events here at Bowman Gray.
There was quite the contact that took place right as the restart happened, where Burt Myers got completely sideways. They were 3 wide coming across the start-finish line here. So I'm not sure if that's what contributed to Brandon Ward losing control as they exited out of turn 2. But there was cars everywhere. There was also a few cars in the back of the field that actually never was able to go. It looked like it was Lee Jeffries. We got the 21 right here of Tommy Neal that's getting a push by the Midway Mobile Storage golf cart, or should we say
Brandon
limousine?
Ward's going to the pits. Brandon Ward is going to the pits. He was just 4th position, folks, and now he's going to the pits, Jacqueline, after that incident right there.
You might as well.
Might
You
as well.
got to go to the back anyways. If you need to make an adjustment, now's the time. And there's still plenty of time to go because we're on lap 168.
And a shorter field, to your point before, when we were just under caution, as you see Brody Jones's 92, Tommy Neal's number 21 pushed into the pit area right there. There's not as many cars to get through, so not necessarily a bad thing, but not what you want when you're in 4th position.
No, he was in a good spot, especially where we were. As the cone's going to come back out, Brian Lofton's joined back to the rear of the field, and there is Brandon Ward. He's going to join the back of the field as well. I wonder if he's going to get a little dicey and choose that outside lane. He might as well, to see kind of where it lines him up here.
Well, here we go to the cone right here. You see the cone in the center of your screen there. The leader is obviously going to choose the bottom. Danny Bone probably doing so as well. Already the 16 is choosing the top of Chris Fleming. He's going to go for it. Burt Myers on the bottom, Snow on the bottom. Oh, James Savali comes up. Oh, boy.
Jason Myers is going to go to that outside lane.
From 7th to 4th, James Savali will dare the outside here in the 2nd row. On the outside, Brandon Ward will have to start towards the rear here. This is going to be interesting. Each one of these restarts, as we get closer, will get interesting. Green flag will not come out. Yellow flag is still out. We'll go next time around. Try to get the lineup right. Daniel Beeson towards the rear of the field, I think, contesting a spot. He is on the outside. And I think they got it right this time. You hear those mighty modifieds. I don't know how well you can hear it on TV, but man, the rumble, you feel the modifieds here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Danny Bone will be on the inside of this restart. Chris Fleming, the veteran race car driver from Mount Airy, North Carolina, will challenge on the outside. A 14-time winner here in the Guaranteed Automotive Group Williams Trucking Surrey Chemicals machine. Also has Jerry Hunt Supercenter on the back TV panel of that machine. Somebody who's very faith-based human being, loves to spread that message to his race fans, and is very direct about it, and a very loving person. He actually leads a Facebook Bible study with racers on Facebook, does Chris Fleming. So, he's one of those guys here that's, you got to be fierce to be behind these, the wheel of these modifieds. But when it's off track, Chris Fleming is one of the nicer guys you're going to meet. Here we go. Lap 173 as we come to the green. A good jump by the number 83. That's going to be trouble for the 16. Can he get down behind Danny Bone? Oh, trouble as he didn't get traction on the outside, but he does get good drive coming off. Now to the bottom goes Chris Fleming. Give him 3rd position. Burt Myers files him behind. Junior Snow and the 79 behind that. Snow gets the position. Savali files in behind him.
Savali sitting in that 6th place position. able to settle in that inside line and hold his own, even though getting pressure from behind from the number 4 of Jason Myers. Meanwhile, we're back up front. You can see Tim Brown led by Danny Bone as he's going to apply pressure in the second place position with 25 laps to go.
Oh, now it's just a little short track feature event, isn't it? Like the Twin 25s here. The lead 2 cars have stretched their legs a little bit down the back straightaway and into the north turn. And the 83 is really motoring on by right now and kind of stretching out his lead over Danny Bone. Things are stretching out a little bit here.
Chris Fleming sitting in 3rd place position. Wow, getting loose there in turn 4, almost coming completely around. Not sure if that's contact from Burt Myers pushing him around or just adjustment. It looks like pressure from Burt as he's gonna pass on the outside for the 3rd place position. The caution flag is gonna fly.
Caution flag flies because the number 4 of Jason Myers is slow on the back straightaway right now. The number 4 car, the QRC HVAC machine, is now stopped on the entry of turn number 3. The Walnut Cove, North Carolina driver, 3rd generation racer, is now going to the assistance of the mobile midway storage push vehicle. And I believe he's going to go to the pit area. That thing is not under power. PSR race chassis on that number 4. Guess what, folks? That sets it up another double file restart. Hey, just like my man Ben Dodge, who's going to be the Grand Marshal of the Spring Sizzler at Stafford Motor Speedway, and you can see that event next week live on Flow Racing. Ben Dodge always would say, double file make you smile. It does. Double file restarts do make you smile because it's great competition. If we were single file all the time, it would be, well, it would be a little bit more boring. You know, we don't want that. So great of Ben Dodge, somebody, you know, I'm not some big-time professional announcer. I'm no Mike Joy or whatever, but you listen to certain people growing up, and you admire their artistry in announcing. You know, from the Bob Finans at Riverhead Raceway to Russ Dowd, Ben Dodge. Those are kind of the guys that I grew up watching and listening to and loving in grandstands across the Northeast. And Ben Dodge is a true great. So, Ben, if you're watching tonight, a little tip of the cap for you, and can't wait to see you as the Grand Marshal of the 51st running of the Spring Sizzler.
All right, we got the cone out this time by Burt Myers is going to take the outside lane, followed by Savali. Now going to put him in 4th place, and Brandon Ward is going to round that out. For 6th place. The top 3, or my gosh, the front 3 rows there. And then we got the 44 going to join that outside lane as well for the 8th position. So here we go. Next time by, we're going to get the green.
This time by, we'll get the green as the 2 rivals duel off the turn. Great jump by the 83. Here comes Danny Bone to the inside. He's probably going to get that number 2 spot. Trouble in turn number 1. The 44 goes around and spins. Hard contact in the wall for Brody Jones. Severe contact for the right front of that number 92 Fury chassis race car.
Not what Daniel Beeson wanted there, but I will say that might have been a little bit of a saving grace for Burt Myers. I felt like he was about to lose quite a few positions there in the restart, with Savali closing in the gap on Danny Bone. So that might have been a little bit of saving grace for the 1. I feel like, just based off of what we've seen tonight, that Burt Myers has a little bit left in his back pocket for Tim Brown, but he's going to have to get past that 57 in order to execute and make his move. We have the 75 stopped here on the front straightaway, and then we also are looking at the 92 in the wall there. It looks like he might need tow truck assistance.
He's going to big tow truck assistance. He clobbered that wall, Jacqueline, and so did the 75. I didn't even realize that it was Jeffries that was involved in that, but his number 75 is sitting on the front stretch right now, and Lee Jeffries car is sitting on the front stretch, and that car has a torn up right front. So he had a bad luck season last season, did Lee Jeffries. And there you see his number 75 sitting on the front straightaway right now, looking to have a rebound year for that 75. Brought some new sponsors aboard, Brad's Golf Cars, Wahlberg Grill and Pizza, which we'd love to get Wahlberg Grill and Pizza to bring us some pizza here. Come on, Wahlberg. Man, maybe we can eat some pizza.
Crust first.
No, you don't get any pizza now. But Phoenix Packaging always on that number 75 car as well. But one of the great people in our sport and in our pit area is that number 75, the driver, Lee Jeffries. Caution is out. The cars are stopped here on the track as we have tow trucks taking 2 vehicles off the track. And maybe this is a good time to go to commercial. Let's be back on Flow Racing.
And we're back. Live here on Flow Racing. You're tuned in to Bowman Gray Stadium, the Madhouse. And things are about to get mad right here in the modified division as we only have 15 laps to go of this 200-lap event. And during that break, we're just sitting here talking about Twitter and the tweets that are coming in on hashtag #TweetYourSeat. Tag us, Matt Dillner and myself. We love to see it. We have a few that came in here. Jordan saying she's watching from Riverhead, New York.
Oh, Riverhead Raceway.
Whoop, whoop. Shout out to Riverhead. We'll have some of their races this year on
NASCAR
Flow
Wheel
Racing.
Modified Tour.
Absolutely.
And the weekly.
And the weekly. They're on every single week. And we have Jay tuning in from Martinsville. Hello, Jay. Thanks for tuning in. And I have Kevin that tweeted me, Kevin Peterson, that says that he's with me on the haircuts and the mullets. So it's good to know I'm not alone.
Stay on Twitter, guy. You know.
And shout out to my family, my sister-in-law, and my brother watching right here on Flow Racing. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching and listening to me. And all of my songs that I'm blessing people with tonight.
All right, let's go. Speaking of that, let's go back to the racing because Burt Myers chose the outside on that restart choose cone. James Savali comes up the 4th, Jacqueline. Big shout out also to Jacob watching from Roanoke, Virginia tonight, rooting on the Mark Dowdy racing team, although John Smith is now retired from the event. Lap 188 coming to the green flag right here. Big jump by the number 83. The number 1 doesn't go. I think they're going to call it off, and they do. Notice Jacqueline Drake, though, who is on the inside of the 3rd row. The Q104.1 car of Brandon Ward has snuck his way back up. So, hey, the plot thickens.
Here we go. We're going to go back at it.
Restart, attempt number 2, coming to 189. Burt Myers on the outside tries to get down to the bottom. Danny Bone's not going to let him. Savali to the back bumper, the number 1 car. Things get a little dicey. Here comes the one. He closes the door on Brennan Ward.
Dicey indeed. Burt Myers going to be able to close in that gap and get into that 3rd place position. But
Oh! A big hit by Danny Bone, and he's going to get by Tim Brown for the lead. Brown hits him, going into 3. Danny Bone sideways in the dust. Here comes Burt Myers sideways for the lead. What a classic battle here of the Giants. Tim Brown's in trouble. He's on the outside. He's going from the lead to the back, from 0 to hero. Burt Myers from 3rd to 1st.
fans are on their feet right now as the anchor is continuing to fall for the 83 of Tim Brown. Meanwhile, we have a battle up front right now. Burt Myers leading over Danny Bone. Brandon Ward in 3rd place right now, holding on, trying to gain a 2nd place position. Right now, the camera is still on Tim Brown, though, who's about to fall out of the top 10.
Oh, boy. Burt Myers has the lead, but the battle is on for 2nd place. Brandon Ward with a shot to the back bumper of the number 57. I don't know how Danny Bone held on to that car in the marbles, in the dust, on the outside, sideways. That was unbelievable driving by that driver. The fans are going nuts. You see him leaning over the facade of the stadium, rooting on the cars as we're at 195. 5 laps to go here at the Madhouse.
Burt Myers continuing to lead, and he has the gap between him and 2nd place of Danny Bone. Will we be able to see a battle here at the end? Meanwhile, Brandon Ward's going to do all he can to reel in that number 57.
Oh, you got to think, back in the back of the field, almost in last position right now, the number 83 of Tim Brown must be absolutely fuming of leading 190-something laps, and now he's lost the race. Burt Myers in control at the front of this field, in front of a packed stands here. 2 laps to go.
We're still early in the game here, but finishing that far back could be vital later in the year for championship standings. Meanwhile, though, we're looking at Burt Myers as he's going to get the white flag this time by.
The fans are on their feet all the way around the Madhouse. And the driver coming around the north turn, ready to take the checkered flag, and the Hayes Jewelers 200 win number 89 for Burt Myers.
Applause all the way around Bowman Gray Stadium as Burt Myers is going to celebrate on the back straightaway. Wow, he was able to pull it off, and here comes the 83. I thought he was going to make
He's not going to be
mark.
happy, I'll tell you that, after that right there. But what a race that we just saw on Flow Racing. Jacqueline Drake. Oh, man, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat all within a few laps in this NASCAR modified division, and that was what Bowman Gray is all about. You never know what you're going to see. 100-something laps of what's going to happen, and then boom, the explosion. And it happened tonight, and the man gripping the checkered flag with Bowman Gray stitched on the side, people booing, people cheering as he goes around turn 1 and 2. My gosh, this place is going nuts. Burt Myers is your winner.
This right here is what makes the Madhouse so addictive. Like you said, from hero to zero for Tim Brown throughout that. Burt Myers is going to clinch his 89th modified win and 10th win in the Hayes Jewelers 200, the record for the most win in the Hayes Jewelers 200 ever here at Bowman Gray.
Let's check out the replay real quick before Burt Myers climbs out of this machine, and we're going to see what happened there and transpired. Tim Brown, a shot to the backside, a return shot to Danny Bone, and the guy that takes advantage is Burt Myers. Let's go down to the front stretch for Victory Lane. Burt Myers, the winner at the Madhouse.
At the right time, and he took advantage of it. Burt getting unstrapped. Let him hear it as he exits his car. Bert Myers is the winner. Bert, I know you want to celebrate. We're under some time constraints tonight. You were in the right place at the right time at lap 191.
We had the car to beat. We just couldn't get in the front. I wanted Danny to go if he was going to be in front of me. Where's he at? PSR strong. It's the same car we had at the end of the year last year. You can see it. The hard work with these guys. We didn't give up. Track was bad this afternoon, so we skipped the second practice. We knew what we had. I want to thank Greg Butcher Trucking, Auto Store, Riddle, Haviland, PSR, CitroSafe, Backyard Leisure, Universal Techno Institute, my family, dude.
Congratulations, Bert. Sorry to cut it short. Need to move over to the Carolina Wood Floors winner's circle. Bert Myers.
All right. What a race. What a finish. A finish for the ages. This is a race for the ages. You see Bruce Hayes is here, and of course the Hayes family is going to award that beautiful crystal trophy to Bert Myers, winner of the Hayes Jewelers 200. His son Slate Myers, who's starting his journey in modified racing and racing a lot of 602 modified races, joins him on the winner's circle, the Carolina Wood Floors Victory Wagon. It's a pretty cool little thing if you've never seen it on Flow Racing. That's the little Victory Lane stage, and a huge crowd of local media and crew members and fans are on the front stretch, but we've got some time constraints here. We got to get going here. We've got a 15-lap mini stock race. That's the stadium stocks here at Bowman Gray Stadium getting set for you.